The red light is blinking, and that means we're recording the latest episode of Three Men and a Baby. This week on the docket, we're going to talk a little Destiny DLC, and of course, we're talking about whether the rise of microtransactions is going to be the fall of iron. We're also going to talk hip-hop, finally. We haven't talked that in a while. And this week was all about that stupid Twitter beef between Kid Cudi and a couple people, so that got us talking about ghostwriting. So that's what we're going to cover today, ghostwriters. Should they share the fame with the main artist, or should they just stay in the cut like they have been in the past? And finally, the third topic, we got to hit up Overwatch. Overrated. Some people believe that. A couple people on the panel believe that. And by panel, I'm talking about my boys in Southern Florida, down in Miami, my boy Smooth B25. What's good, Smooth?
What's going on? What's going on?
Chilling, man. I've also got right there next to him his cousin, Sonic Nerd. What's up, Sonic?
Oh, wow. You didn't skip me this time. Wow. All right. I feel honored.
It only took three
the
times.
Baby face. And also next to him, we've got also in Miami, Neo Gotex. What up, Neo?
Cowabunga.
Cowabunga. I'm Urias Kaiser Soze, and I'm in Tampa. One of the topics this week started in Tampa, so I'm going to make sure we get to that. But actually, I'm going to get started with you, Neo, because I saw you on Xbox Live, and you're putting work into Destiny as if the DLC is already dropped, and it hasn't yet. And I know I was surprised this week. I had no idea about these microtransactions. Heard about this? And some of us, a lot of people online, believe that these microtransactions are going to ruin the game because it's basically going to be a way for people to pay to boost to get to the max levels quicker. You, being the Destiny superfan on the panel, school us. Let us know. Will these microtransactions be the failure of Destiny?
No, not at all. I think everybody's overreacting. You got people like yelling fire. Look at people covering their face. I mean, really, all they're doing is they're monetizing meaningless shit. Meaningless shit. The factions.
Explain
it's the factions, right? So it's the factions, right? Now think about it. I know that you put in a lot of work in Destiny, right? What do you get out of faction packages? How often do you get faction packages? Do they actually change the game? For the end game, have you ever kept any of your faction weapons as an end game? Like, I guess, yeah, there's some guns that might be elite, but with all the roles, all the different variations that you can get, I mean, trying to boost the faction package, what does it matter? What does it matter? This is a goal for everybody to hit 25.
I can't take it anymore. I gotta jump in. I can't take it anymore. The hypocrisy coming out of your mouth, the heresy coming out of your mouth is ridiculous. I can't believe what I'm hearing. Do you understand what kind of a precedent that this sets for the Destiny franchise? Could you imagine what's gonna happen next year with Destiny 2 drops? I mean, look at what happened with Black Ops 3, right? We had these like little care packages that people can earn over time as they continue to rank up, and they have to earn these little coins. And they can use those coins to buy these packages that have like enhanced weapons and blah, blah, blah. Do you see what's going on in that game? They've introduced microtransactions and paid DLC in the form of map packs. This is the Activision way. This is what is going to happen with Destiny 2. I will agree with you that faction weapons may not compare to like the end game stuff, but imagine what's going to happen for Destiny 2. Just imagine. They're going to come out the gate. They're going to come guns blazing.
But see, I mean, it's like you're a conspiracy theorist right now. It's not that serious right now. The faction package, by monetizing the faction package, what does it matter? What does it matter? It's not going to change.
It may not matter now. It may not matter now. But let me tell you, Bungie controls the flow of weaponry in those faction stores because it resets, every day or every week?
No,
there's other ways that is true. In other ways, that much
they could control
every day, but they do control the weapon flow. Sometimes there's like time gates on certain quests to get certain weapons,
but not on the factions. Okay, so look, I'll buy that. It is teetering on a very delicate, fine line. I do get it, but right now I'm telling you that it doesn't bother me if they monetize like stupid shit like this. One thing. What you might have not caught, but supposedly the faction boost, it works for everybody in your party. So if I decide to buy it and I enable the faction boost, everyone in my party gets it.
That's very sweet.
Doesn't matter when, doesn't matter where. It's shared.
That's adorable. That's adorable. But let me tell you, man, you're going to be hoodwinked and bamboozled when Destiny 2 drops. all of us in this hangout are gonna go and play it, and then you're gonna see that sweet new weapon in that faction that you want to have before you can start that raid.
Now let's be clear here. Now, Sonic, what you're saying though is that so to be clear, you don't really have a problem with this. You have a problem with the precedents that it might be setting.
Absolutely.
Is that right?
Absolutely.
You're okay with the fact that, in particular, these microtransactions. You don't have a problem with these particular microtransactions.
I have a problem with these microtransactions because of the precedent that it sets. You get what I'm saying?
You have a problem with the dancing? Is that what it is? The moonwalk, the thriller dance? Is that what you have a problem with? Because that's all I've seen right now when it comes to the microtransaction is the dances.
That's my point.
What else is there other than thriller?
All right, let me explain a little bit of the facts or whatever. Because all right, so originally the first microtransactions ever, because these aren't the first. The first ones were totally cosmetic, and basically you would buy silver, which was game currency, and then you can buy stuff like what Smooth was just talking about, the little dances, the emotes. You got one that was Carlton from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You had the hammer dance. It was stuff like that. It didn't actually affect the way that someone plays, how quickly they got to end game, or their weapons. It didn't affect anything that actually affected a gameplay mechanic. This current update is going to bring new microtransactions that do that. Here's how. It soup up and move, sort of like boost your factions. Now, here's the thing. Now, from afar, if you're somebody that plays the game casually, what Destiny's been telling you for a long time is, hey, to get the best gear, you don't have to raid. You could just go the Crucible route, and if you play a lot of Crucible, you'd get pretty good gear. Or you could just join a faction, and if you did missions, that's what Destiny would tell you. That's what Bungie told you. And if you're a super hardcore Destiny fan, like Neo is, and like myself, I put in more hours than Neo. I mean, I'm not a super fan like he is, but I guess I'm a closet super fan. I love the game. And the point is that we know better. You can't get the highest gear if it's not by rating. That's just not. So you can spend as much money as you want. Me and Neo are going to put in 4 hours and be better than you. So as far as I'm concerned, this to me is just a casual way to, you boost up, but it's not going to affect me. I'm not going to spend any money. That does spend money on this is still not going to progress any higher than someone that just puts in the work.
That's the point. That's the point that I'm trying to prove.
You're only cheating yourself.
So really, this is more for someone like me then, for someone who hasn't played in a while.
So I'll tell you.
I sold it after a couple of weeks. So now you guys trying to loop me back into it. It's like, hey, I can pay a little bit more, and then I can play with you guys. Whereas before, I had to level up. I couldn't play with you guys. You guys are too far ahead, and I was stuck playing by myself. So this gives me a chance to play with you guys. Is that what this is?
So hold on. Yes and no. Yes and no, because for example, like we're saying, this is faction rep. So faction rep really is not going to help you in the grand scheme of things. It'll probably give you a weapon here or there, but for example, you might get a gun, and it all depends on the level. This isn't going to bring you straight to 40, 335 where we are. You know what I mean? This is probably going to bring you to 320.
So what's going to happen is, I think that if you played casually and you spend some money, however amount it is, just knowing how the factions work, what's going to happen is probably once or at best twice a week, you're going to get one extra legendary gun than you would if you didn't boost. Let's say you got one or extra. And let me tell you that those faction guns, while they are legendary and they do a little bit more damage, they're not better than something you're going to get in a raid or something you're going to get from an end game quest. Those are going to give you guns with like
Iron Banner,
particular perks and stuff that's just OP, like heat-seeking bullets and just stuff that's so much cooler. So you can spend money, really, like I said before, you're cheating yourself. Getting a little ahead, but not in any way that's significant to someone that knows about the game.
So this is more for someone like me. Really, I mean, to catch up, to be able to play with you guys, that's what this is geared for. I mean, so if that's the case, I see nothing wrong with it. I mean, because if not, I probably wouldn't play. I'd be like, oh, you guys are too far ahead. I can't get into it. I'll play something else. I'll play Mario Kart, whatever.
I think Neo would agree, though, that if you didn't drop a cent, you would still catch up to us just as quickly. It wouldn't take you long.
Yeah, man. We got a friend right now that has boosted, well, not boosted, but let's just say he's pumped up like 15 levels. He went from 25 to almost 40 in about like 5 days. Now, granted, he's putting probably 2 hours a day, but I mean,
you know what's scary, man? You know what's scary about this conversation is that you guys aren't outraged at the precedent, and that you don't know where Bungie is going to draw the line. This is like, they started with the emotes, right? Which is harmless. Now they got you with the faction credits, and you're like, oh no, it's no big deal. We could do it the normal way, no big deal. And now, where's it gonna end? Where is it gonna stop?
Tell me what bothers you about this. Tell me what, because
it bothers me because this is the type of game where it's like you put forth the work and you get rewarded for it. And here you're giving people like a fast track to get, good weapons. It may not be the best weapons, but it's good enough weapons that you can take to the Crucible and be competitive with. So it's like I don't have to put. What's wrong? But because it's
an optional thing. It's not like they're preventing others from getting to people who are putting in work to getting it. If someone wants to pay extra money, I mean, why not?
The thing is, it's actual weapons. It's not like weapon skins or wet armor skins or things like that. This is actual weapons that you could take it to the Crucible.
But hold on. Remember that Destiny, you got PvP and PvE. You don't have to play PvP. You don't have to. So if somebody wants to boost to get... Say it again?
But you can. Like, you have the option to do that.
And then, agreed. And then what will happen, which Bungie always does, is they make the most elite weapons attainable by everyone. So you could boost this faction rep, and it doesn't guarantee you that you will get the most elite PvP weapon.
Well, hold on. Let me pause for a second. I do agree with you. Now, I don't play Destiny as much as you, so I do trust your opinion on this current faction fast track system. But like I said, answer this: like, where do you think Bungie will continue to introduce microtransactions throughout the course of this particular year? Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. And if so, what do you think those will be?
I think they will nickel and dime any and everything they can. I mean,
no, I agree. Strange coins. Listen,
there you go.
I will calm down, right? Like I'm chill right now, but I will lose my shit if they try to monetize strange coins.
And see, that's the thing, though. If you're calm about it now, Bungie is sitting there. Well, it's really Activision. They're sitting there going, okay, they're cool with that. Let's hit them with this one. Okay, they seem to be fair weather about that. Let's hit them with that one.
Another one.
And
then
another one. Let me tell you what's gonna happen. Destiny 2 is gonna drop probably September next year.
And wait, this isn't Destiny 2?
No, this is an expansion pack for it.
There's been like 6 expansion packs and DLC. Like, where does Destiny 2 start?
It's not.
It's like Street Fighter 2. It's like Street Fighter 2. Right now we're in Hyper Turbo Edition of Destiny.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, originally I heard that it was a 10-year marketing plan. So people keep talking about Destiny 2. I didn't know there was ever going to be a Destiny 2. I thought this whole generation was just Destiny and more updates, more DLC.
I think they already announced.
Wasn't the last DLC like $50 also? Is it at the price of a new game? That should have been Destiny 2.
No. It's always been 40.
Or 40.
It was 40, and before 40, I think it was like 30 or 20.
This next one is $29.99.
Right. So next year, I think, if I remember correctly, someone will have to fact check me on this one, but I think next year they're officially going to drop Destiny 2 proper. Yeah. And you're going to see, man, like, go ahead.
I entirely disagree with Sonic. They are setting the precedence. And if you notice, it is a slow progression. Like, first it was totally cosmetic. Now it kind of affects gameplay. So, yeah, it does seem like they're going somewhere because it wasn't like they just hit us with it. But, I mean, the way that we fight it is not by, like, preemptively, freaking out without them actually doing anything. It's by not spending any money. As simple as that. Yeah. Don't buy any of this. Don't buy the shit that they're giving us right now. These boosts, don't buy it. Boosting is for bitches. At the end of the day, the whole point of this game, the fun is in the journey to the end game. The fun is in the journey to the max light level. When you're boosting, you're missing out on the fun. Like, you missed the point.
So can I say something? All right. I know that what you're saying right now makes 100% sense.
But
I'm still going to pay for the hammer dance emote.
I mean, that's cosmetic.
I'm still going to pay for it.
So Neo, how much have you put into Destiny so far? All the DLC, all the dancing?
How much? I mean, I bought all the DLCs. I bought I think it's like $5 worth of the coins to get the hammer dance. And that's about it. But I mean, I would say
$5?
maybe $100.
150, 160.
No. Probably. Okay, I'm lying. Yes, 150.
So the price of
let's
two
see,
games. So if Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 came out, that'd have been 120 plus a couple of map packs.
I mean, but smooth. Look at it this way: is ask him how many hours he's put in. You know, then you try to quantify it that way, and all of a
3
sudden,
characters, all 330. Wait, 334. 3 characters, all 334.
So you put more
In
than
that
26
Luke cave.
minutes into it.
Yes,
In that
more than
Luke cave.
26 minutes.
Way more than 26 minutes. Okay.
Yes.
that's funny. I remember we put in 26 minutes at the loot cave, or you guys did. I'm not hitting that loot cave up. I love how we're all talking about boosting.
We put hours in that loot cave.
You guys did.
That's
I was
700
mad. I was mad the entire time.
right there. 728 hours.
30 of my 46 hours was at the loot cave. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but smooth. So in terms of getting your money's worth, like I just said, let's say I spent 150, right? I put in 728 hours into the game.
Wow.
Yeah, that's good bang for your buck. I can't front.
Yeah.
That's good bang for your buck.
There you go. And I will be quiet and neglect to say how many hours I put in on it because it will hurt my self-esteem. And I will just casually transition to the next topic. And honestly, I'm so glad that somebody brought this up because we haven't talked hip-hop in a few weeks. We've done a little bit about comic books, a little bit with movies, but we haven't hit up hip-hop. And this week was pretty funny because it all started with Kid Cudi on Twitter kind of throwing shade, saying that the top 5 MCs, he was going to kind of throw them off their game and he was going to expose them or whatever. And then he got real specific later on that night and he said Kanye, he said Ye and Drake in particular. And so that got us to talk about a conversation we had way back when we used to have a music hangout. And we were talking about ghostwriting. And we kind of just exposed everybody and who we thought ghostwrite for who. And again, those topics came up and we wanted to know, should ghostwriters get any of the credit at all or should they stay in the cut? Because basically what Kid Cudi is saying is that Kanye and Drake are getting way too much credit and that he deserves some of that credit. I don't know. What do you guys think about this whole thing? Ghostwriting. Where do you stand with it, Smooth?
I mean, when it comes to ghostwriting, it's like if you're a ghostwriter, if you want credit, then don't be a ghostwriter. Like that's the whole point of being a ghostwriter because you write the song, you stay in the cut, you know, you don't take credit, you let the artist take the credit, and that's it. If you don't want to be a ghostwriter, if you want the credit, then you put that as part of your agreement up front and say, hey, I want my name in the pamphlet. I want my name in the credits, and that's it. Like this whole coming out after the fact to me is ridiculous. You know, that's like, you know, being an anonymous donor for something and then coming out 10 years later and say, hey, I want to see that baby or whatever it is. It's like it doesn't work that way. If you're a ghostwriter, you're anonymous, and that's it. Don't try to come out later on saying, you know, you want a credit for it.
I don't know. I mean, the whole issue with ghostwriters is, yes, you're right, but in the same place, like it's an art form, right? Especially if we're looking at hip hop the way that we all look at it, then hip hop is supposed to be an art form. And then if you took part in that, if you put this art out, this original piece of music that came from you, and you get no credit for it, don't you feel like you're entitled to some of that?
No.
Neo.
Well, I mean, I think the best person to talk about this right now is Sonic because Sonic really thinks he's entitled to it. He thinks he's entitled to every 90 cents out of every dollar.
No, not that much. But here's what I'll say. You guys, because this is the resident baby face of the group, so I'm talking the new hip-hop world. Okay, not the old shit like back in the day. We're talking new hip-hop.
Yeah, we're talking Young Thug.
We're talking, well, what we're talking about here is we're talking about hip hop that has evolved to be more of a performance hype type of art form rather than about the spoken word. Now, I want to admit that I listen to more of, you know, the more thought provoking. No, I listen to like the thought provoking rappers like Kendrick, J. Cole, Kanye, etc. But I think I just don't understand the whole narrative about ghostwriters being bad. You know what I mean? Like, why is it so shameful for Kanye to have a ghostwriter? Why is it so shameful for this person to have a ghostwriter? Like, it doesn't make sense to me because it's like you played a part. The ghostwriter played a significant part in making this vision happen. but it's all about the delivery as well, and that's an art form in itself. So I just don't understand why it's so shameful to have ghostwriters. You know what I mean?
So, I mean, I get that. I get that. But here's the thing. I mean, even Smooth touched on it, right? Ghostwriters, I mean, why they all up in their feelings? Like, at the end of the day, they're supposed to be in the cut. They're supposed to be, look, when anyone has ever heard of ghostwriters, how did you find out that there was a ghostwriter? You looked at the pamphlet in the back, in the line credits, and then you saw.
Even ghostwriters wouldn't even be. That's why they're considered ghostwriters. They wouldn't be in the pamphlet. It would say written by Kanye West. So back in the day, you wouldn't find out about it until 10, 15 years later. It's like, oh, I mean, this was written by so-and-so. Oh, this is written by so-and-so. It wasn't.
I mean, you're both right.
But here's the thing.
Right.
Here's the thing though. Like, to me, when you buy into an artist, right? Like, you like J. Cole, right? Let's say you like Kendrick, right? You buy into the brand that artist is, right? Well, even if you have a ghostwriter, now all of a sudden somebody wants to take credit for that brand, right? But that person is not the brand.
They're not taking credit for the brand. They're taking credit for playing a part. That's all Cudi. Like, if you bring this back to Cudi, right? Bring this back to Cudi for a second.
Yeah.
Cudi was upset at Kanye. We don't know exactly why, but the rumor is that Cudi was upset that Kanye kind of cut him off. So if you remember, Kanye, yeah, he's salty. He is salty because Kanye announced that he's doing a project with Drake. And the rumor is that Kanye had promised Cudi that they were going to do a project together, and I guess that didn't happen. And then when Cudi heard about the whole Drake thing with Kanye, then he got upset, and he called out both Kanye and Drake. Okay? So from that perspective, you got to understand, if you're Cudi, you've done a lot for Kanye's career. Like, a lot of people don't realize how impactful Cudi was to Kanye's career. So I don't think, it's not like Kanye owes Cudi anything, but if you say that you're going to do something with a guy that you know, practically you know, transitioned you from being hip hop to now pop, or to transition to other genres of music, especially with 808s and Heartbreak, like, Cudi played a huge role in that transition period, and Kanye admits that, and he knows that. That's why he's in a lot of his songs.
Yeah,
so,
but
you know what this is like? This is like being in college, and you have someone going to write a paper for you, and it's like, hey, I want you to write this paper for me. Don't say anything. Don't tell anybody. You get 100 on that test, and now the person is like, hey, those are my answers. I mean, that's what this is like right now.
Right.
I
mean, deserve that.
I like that example, especially with graduation in the background. I like that.
But here's the thing though. When it comes to making a hit, right? It's just not lyrics. Production is just as important, and not just that. I mean, who knows? It's composition. There are a million different factors that play in building a hit. You know what I mean? So Kid Cudi shouldn't be getting it all up in his feelings over this. I mean, we've been waiting for Jules Santana and Lil Wayne's mixtape since forever.
Well,
and,
you have. I'm not waiting.
And Lil Wayne moved on. Lil Wayne moved on to like some 2 Chainz stuff. All I'm saying is that sometimes things don't work out, and you just move on.
I mean, you know what? So Sonic is right. I mean, this definitely came from a place of shade, because he went as far as to talk about people not working with him. You know, like he took it there, which is saying that, yeah, he's kind of pissed off that Drake and Kanye have sort of boxed him out. Now, here's my whole thing with Kid Cudi. First of all, this has kept going on. Did you know that? I want you guys to all go ahead and Google Kanye in Tampa on the 14th. That was 4 days ago. He was here at a concert. And all of a sudden, so I've gone to the last 2 Kanye concerts. They're a spectacle. I don't even like Kanye like that. Last time was because of Kendrick Lamar. And again, he just throws a spectacle. So I'm in there, and he's playing the song, "That's that shit I don't like. A snitch, nigga. That's that shit I don't like." And they stop. Everybody stop right there. Yo, Cudi, get your name out my mouth. And the place goes nuts. And he's like, "I gave birth to you." And he just goes off about how basically what did he say specifically? He's like, in 2008, anybody would want to get signed to good music and this and that. And the place is going nuts. And trust me, this is totally why I go to the Kanye show, because I expect this. He's going to totally make a spectacle out of some, whether it's Black Jesus or whether it's people that look like they're naked, whatever it is, the dude drops coinage on his concerts. But anyway, so the beef is still going on. And he's basically saying that Cudi owes him his existence. So I think here's the big problem is the way the hip hop works. Kid Cudi is talking to the people that don't know any better, that think that Kanye West actually writes all his music. That thinks that Kanye West is the lyrical, and that Kanye maybe creates
What
beat. Exactly, but not everybody knows what we know. Some people think that that's how hip hop works.
But here's the thing: Kanye West isn't even known for lyrics. What lyrics? What lyrics? I mean, seriously?
He calls himself the top 5. He says he's the top 5 lyricist.
No. Maybe top 5 artists. Come on, among what was it Michelangelo, Van Gogh? I mean, but not top 5 lyricists.
So it's that there, so much more is involved with creating a hit song that as long as we all understand that that artist is not, he's a company, he's a machine. You can say that hip hop right now is about 20 people. Literally, you can write down 20 names and that's it. That's the entire hip hop game. And in reality, there's about 200 people. The other thing is the way that hip hop works, you sort of got to pay your dues. You know, Kid Cudi had to be in the cut for a while to become who Kid Cudi is. I mean, we can't listen to old Drake and not old Drake. We can't listen to old Lil Wayne and say you don't hear Drake on it. I mean, there's some early Drake stuff where he's singing with Lil Wayne and you can't tell who's who. Their flow is so mangled up, and that is Drake influencing Lil Wayne. And that's how he paid his dues to become who he is. I say the same thing about Jay-Z and J. Cole. Jay-Z's flow is exactly what we get from J. Cole now. And since J. Cole was put on the spot, he's sort of fallen off. So my point is, like, for you to get there, sometimes you got to just pay the price. And as a matter of fact, talking about Kanye, there's an old mixtape called Kanye Behind the Beats, which is he talks about how he ghost produced for Just Blaze. And he talks about Project Pat and this and that. And he plays songs that we all think are Just Blaze beats, and they're not. They're Kanye.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not even just that is the hip hop game. And it's not just MCing, it's also beat making.
So Sonic, I got a question for you. So what Soze just put up was gold, right? So here's the thing. You got ghostwriters that will and throw away the key. And then you got ghostwriters that will sit there and mouth off and ask for the credit. When you see Jay-Z ghostwrite, he doesn't brag about it. He doesn't brag about it. You know, he doesn't put out names out there.
Well,
wait a second. Who Jay-Z ghostwrite for?
Yeah,
well, he had ghostwriter.
What?
We don't know because
Foxy. He ghostwrote. He did ghostwrite for Foxy Brown.
Tons of Foxy.
He didn't cut like he should have. That's what it.
No. Look, Foxy, Bleak, and then I mean Dre might be the most famous because he wrote still DRE.
But Dre's never written for him. Everybody's written for him.
Even if look at producers, right? Like Primo, let's say Just Blaze, all these, even Kanye, they have a group of engineers that work for them. A beat is a Kanye beat because that's the brand, but still he's got engineers in the back that are mixing and coming up with the beat. Right.
So when you buy like The Life of Pablo and you look at the production credits, you're gonna see his team, right? And it's not like this mystery who wrote a particular song. Like Cudi is all over the credits, of 808s and Heartbreak, and all over the credits.
He's
of My Beautiful
Pablo
Dark Twisted Fantasy, and he's all over Pablo. Like I don't think Cudi is asking for people to all of a sudden like give him the praise and take it away from Kanye. What Cudi is basically doing is he's calling out Kanye. This was directed at Kanye, not to his fans, to Kanye. And this is saying, yo, don't shade me because look at what I've done for you. That's basically what he was saying with his tweets. Because it was a series of tweets. It wasn't just what he called out when he called out Ye and Drake. Like he went on about being disrespected. He went on about, you know, that those who are in their prime positions will get exposed. Like what he's trying to say is that he's done a lot for Kanye, and he doesn't feel like he's getting the respect from Kanye, not the recognition, but the respect from Kanye.
So what he's saying is, how could you be so heartless? So that's what he's saying.
Yeah,
basically.
I mean, look, there was one. They say that in the NFL, cornerbacks are just like wide receivers who can't catch or who are not tall enough, right? In the same way, ghostwriters are rappers who don't have the delivery or who just don't have the charisma, who don't have the brand to actually be an artist. Like Smooth was saying in the beginning, these ghostwriters, they just need to know their place, fall back, and wait for their opportunity. Don't call people out.
Listen, according to Kanye, well, everybody knows Kanye's story because he put it on his first album where he said that they wanted him to be a producer and he forced them to make him an artist. And then you also hear people like J. Cole. J. Cole, if you look at who he is, he doesn't fit MTV or even BET. He doesn't have that kind of swag. He forced himself to the front to the point where Jay-Z couldn't deny him. But that's not really the route for everyone. You know what pissing me off is like back in the day, R&B artists like Babyface wrote it, or there were all these other like producers that they weren't big household names, but they were making the money. They were making the bank in the background. But like we knew that the people, their job was to sing. Their job was to hit notes and, you know, hit this range. And then if Mariah Carey was the shit, it's because she could sing, not because she wrote music. Somebody else's job was that. And who composed the music and who played the instruments, none of that mattered. Her job was singing. It's like MCing now is like performing these lyrics. And we need to understand, as long as we all understand that they probably didn't write it, they might have had a team of 20 to 30 people in the room spitting out hooks, and then the dude was like, that's hot, that's my hook, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's how hip-hop works now. You know what I'm saying? So don't give as much credit as you do to the figure in the front, because it doesn't matter.
Agreed.
I mean,
I agree.
like, it's a team of people. Rick Ross is garbage. Rick Ross's team puts out hits. You know what I mean?
Right, which is why I just don't understand why so many people get caught up into who's the ghostwriter for this song. Oh, this guy gets ghostwritten. You know, this guy ghostwrites for this guy, and this one, you know, like I don't get why that's such a bad thing, because we all know that there's a team of people behind everything. Like when Timberland produces a beat, there's like 50 people in the production credits, probably even more. Same with Kanye. Like we understand this. We understand.
Now I want to be clear that you know that I understand all this, but that's not the music I like. The music I like is actually the dudes that actually try to write their own music.
But that's
people
cool.
that actually try to make their own beat. And that's what I like. I'm just saying that I know better. I know what mainstream hip hop is. I'm not saying I like it. I'm just saying for all these people that are sweating the Twitter beef,
but you know,
I hope they have that
you might be missing the whole the core of this. I think the core of this, now that we kind of talk about it, is more that Cudi is airing out dirty laundry and business that should be, you know, kept behind closed doors. If he feels a certain way with Kanye, you can't message someone on all the social media and call him a bitch. You know what I mean? Because that's effectively what he did. You know what I mean? You got to sit there and talk to them behind closed doors and say, look, man to man, this is the issue.
I will agree with you. I will agree with you there. I would have liked for Cudi to have responded to Kanye either directly or through his music. Because I'm a big believer that, you know, like this new school hip hop thing, the only thing I don't like about it are the tweets. Like these tweet Twitter beefs that go on between Meek Mill and Drake, and now this, even though Kanye responded at a concert, it still started from Twitter, and it seems kind of sus to me. But I was just kind of reading through Kid Cudi's tweets. This one tweet in particular is really interesting. He says, "I keep silent because I don't ever want to come off like some angry hater. But today, not only do I feel fantastic, I feel like I'm taking over." That to me sounds like exactly my whole theory, is that he just feels disrespected by Kanye. Like he feels like he is a big enough artist that Kanye should respect him. Now, is he as big as Kanye? No.
Like this big?
No. You got to give him more credit than that. Like,
wait,
okay,
who?
Okay, hold on.
Who?
That's better. Yeah. No, but like Cudi is a bigger art. Like he has a very dedicated fan base. He's got a very hardcore fan base that has not left. Even like his last two albums were trash. Yeah, he's
alternative hip hop. He's alternative hip hop, but if you look him up on iTunes, or if you go to iTunes hip hop, he's probably on the front. You know what I mean? Like he'll be featured on iTunes.
Yeah, like he still has cachet in his name. He's still a powerful brand. You know what I mean? So you have to respect that. Like one of the best parts of Father Stretch My Hands Part 1 off Pablo is the beginning part where Cudi is singing, and that's the part that when I went to the concert on Friday, that's the part everybody was singing. That's where the energy came from, is that opening line that Cudi is singing. Like that, he is a very powerful brand. I think if the rumor is true and Kanye is disrespecting him, I think that's wrong. But I also think Cudi should be going on Twitter. So
the one thing that I think all three men will agree with the Babyface is we like to hear that, he should have responded in the music. Fuck all that. And the Twitter beefs are stupid. There's Twitter beefs with people like taking picture of people's like children and talking about daughters and like, oh, this is your daughter. It's garbage.
Yeah.
It's like you said, man, keep it in the music. Keep it in the music. Call them out in the music. And I have no problem with calling them out like, yo, did you know I wrote that? Yeah, call them out. I don't think they need to stay in the cut. My whole point is we need to all understand that artist A didn't write song A.
Yeah. But look, you know what? The end all be all might be for Cudi to make better music. Put out a great album on his own.
He's right. No, he's right.
And then say, there's the ammunition. But until then, I mean, he's 4 albums deep of trash.
Well, last thing. Cudi's album's going to drop this month. This might all be a PR stunt to get hype for his album.
Might.
Well, it is. He said
it's one of our 3 topics.
So
let's be real. He did this specific. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Smooth.
I was going to say, I mean, when you go back to the hip-hop beefs going back to way before your time, Sonic, but there was always a beef when an album was about to drop. So that was what I was about to ask. I was going to say, hey, whose album's about to drop? Because that's when there's a beef.
Yep, yeah. Yeah, it might just be a PR stunt.
There's always money behind it. There's always money behind it, especially when it's people from the same camp.
That's whack. Now that I know that, that whole beef now is just whack to me.
Beef.
Yeah. Like, you're going to see the Real Friends remix with Kid Cudi dropping, like, at the end of the month. And everything's Irie, everything's good. Yeah. This one might be
quick, let's go.
The fact that we're even talking about him right now, we wouldn't have been talking about him, you know, if it wasn't for this beef. So mission accomplished for them. That's it.
Hats off to
Now we know he has an album coming out. Smooth. Is Kid Cudi overrated? Kid Cudi overrated. Smooth.
Yes. Yes, he is.
Neos. Kid Cudi overrated.
Yes.
Sonic. Kid Cudi overrated.
No. He's not. He's underrated, I think.
And I think he is great on that show. Have you seen that comedy show that he's on? He took over for...
Get the hell out of here. Get that shit out of here.
Danger Mouse. On Who's or Die? Funny or Die. He's got that Funny or Die show. No, I'm serious. Have you seen that show?
No.
Wait, he has another show coming out?
He has he's on a TV show.
This is a terrible troll attempt. Leave the trolling to Adam.
But I'm totally being serious. He's on a TV show. I just can't think of the name right now. It's pissing me off. It's a Funny or Die show.
It's called Fake Hip Hop Beefs 2016.
No. God, it's pissing me off right now. My wife hates it because I DVR it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I also agree he might be a little bit overrated. You know what I don't agree with, though? Is Sonic, who thinks that Overwatch is overrated. I'm not even gonna set this story up. I'm just gonna let you go. Overwatch overrated, Sonic. Why?
Yeah. Okay. So this topic, I want the people to know, this topic is actually why this webcast exists. So if you remember, one of the first conversations that we had as a group was about why Overwatch is overrated. And I specifically told you guys the reason why you guys keep going back to the game. Maybe not the sole reason, but it's a big reason why. And the big reason why you guys keep going back to the game is this little video game trick that developers use called feedback. Now, what this does is every time, if you've played Overwatch, you know this. Every time you touch an enemy, every time you sneeze on them, and that person eventually dies, then you get credit for the kill. So it shows up on the bottom as, you know, Kaiser Soze has killed this person, right? And I find that so funny how, like, we talk about the millennial generation of gamers, right? The ones who want constant validation for how well they're doing. And yet you guys are the ones playing a game that gives you constant validation, that gasses you up the entire game. And then at the end of the game, mind you, you could have no kills. You could basically just be healing people, which is actually commendable. I like that they reward people for that. But they show you a nice little clip, a cam of all of your highlights from the game. And then you could have people vote, gassing you up even further. So it's just so funny how the old men of this podcast
it's like,
are acting like millennials. Acting like millennials.
Wait. Can the youngster be quiet for a second? All right, so let me talk to the old men in the group real quick.
He's been saving
up. You know what the other problem with millennials is? You know what the other problem with the millennials is?
What?
They take everything. They read the book. What is it like? They read the cover. They gauge how good a book is just by the cover. That's what we have here. Here's a guy who played it, saw that happen, and freaked out and made this entire perspective on the game is based on the fact that he was like, I didn't kill 22 people.
Oh, no.
And you know what happens? If you had played longer, Sonic, what you would have realized is that it is the entire opposite effect. You get so many kills that it's actually minimalized the importance of kills. And then if you're somebody that plays a lot, what you know is that 20 kills doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean
yeah.
shit to us.
So
You can get 30 kills, and it wouldn't matter to us because it's not about kills.
Well, exactly. Here, look, we need to set the precedent, or at least explain Overwatch. Overwatch is an objective-based game. KD doesn't matter. It does not matter at all how many kills you get. I mean, granted, yes, it's a stat, but you getting 30 kills, if you get 50 kills, doesn't guarantee you a win at the end of the game. And at the end of the day, this is all objective-based. So you're going for the win. So all of that, like, feedback, that constant feedback, you know, while it is there, I will definitely admit to it. It doesn't have to do with just getting kills, because we can win a game when with a character, and let's say I'll only get 5 kills that whole game, but I might get play of the game and win it for everybody.
So let me just let the record show that I do not dislike or hate Overwatch. I actually very much enjoyed it. I played it for about 6 to 8 hours, I think, somewhere around there. And
look it up, Neil. Look it up.
Yes, right.
Look it up. Let's go real quick. 26 minutes.
I know I played more than 26 minutes. But I'm not saying it's a bad game. What I'm saying is it's just a little bit overrated when people start calling it the greatest multiplayer game of the generation. Some are calling it the greatest multiplayer game of all time, which I have to stop and say, whoa. Like, there's plenty of other games that I could put in the conversation that could surpass Overwatch from a lot of different perspectives. I think the reason why I didn't connect with Overwatch the way I thought I would is because it was so easy to pick up and play that I felt like I hit the ceiling really quickly. And I know you guys are going to disagree. You say that there's a bunch of tactics involved, this and that, but it's like when I play a game like Battlefield, right? Like I'm going to spend the first 2 or 3 hours like not understanding what this gadget does and not understanding how this gun controls and what this game mode is like. So I just feel like I hit the ceiling way too quickly and I got kind of bored.
You know what I'll say is, this is why I disagree with it is, you're right. When you probably played for a little bit, you might have felt like you level capped kind of quickly. But first of all, the community's matured a lot. The kind of stuff that you saw that first weekend or beta weekend, those kind of tactics don't work anymore. Like you're talking about stuff where you might have 3 Bastions on a team. That's just, you won't see that on a team, not because you can't choose 3 Bastions, but because everyone knows how to counter it so quickly that you're going to have a diverse team. So just naturally, we've all matured, and the game has become better. The other thing I'll say is, yeah, it is really easy to pick up. But, and you guys have heard me say this a lot, that I say there's a lot of Nintendo to Overwatch, a lot of Nintendo. And it's that, when I say Nintendo, what I mean is games like Mario Kart and Smash Brothers are games that you can pick up and play and have fun immediately. You can button mash and you'll have a great time. But if you play them enough, you would know the nuances, how every character reacts differently to someone else. And that's Overwatch.
Hold on, I got a question. I got a question.
100 levels in, I'm still learning shit. 100 levels in. That's why I wanted to bring it over to Smooth. Actually, I wanted to bring him to Smooth because he's the Nintendo guy, and I got to play with him. I got to play with him a lot. For the free weekend, we probably put in what, 2 hours, 3 hours?
2 or 3 hours, yeah. I mean, so here's the one part where I disagree with the whole Nintendo comparison. Because Smash, Kart, Splatoon, very easy to pick up and play. But I think the biggest difference is I had fun playing Smash, Splatoon, and Kart. When I played Overwatch, I mean, I got into it the first couple matches by myself. I was bored out of my mind. I was ready to uninstall it. So as they came in, we joined in the match together, and it was better. So my take is, if you're playing by yourself, don't bother, because you'll be running around not really knowing what to do, who to help. It's like, what am I doing here? This is pointless.
Yeah, but
it wasn't until I was playing with him where it was like, okay, cool. He was telling me, hey, I need help. Hey, come heal me, come this. But so my take is, without playing with someone or a couple other people, you're really not going to have any fun. And that's where I think the biggest difference is when it comes to a game like Splatoon, where it's like kind of similar, where it's objective based, where the kill death ratio doesn't really matter, but it's like, because the goal is to paint the ground and to have more paint on the ground, but it's actually fun. Versus Overwatch, where it's like, okay,
the point of the game is to paint the ground, and that's it.
Yeah, that's why I'm laughing at.
That's the point of the game. I mean, seriously.
You're gonna get to paint the ground, sometimes you gotta paint the wall, you know.
I mean, it was a lot more fun than, let me follow this guy, let me hide behind this guy, let me heal this guy. You know,
sorry for a game being a little bit more complicated than just painting the walls.
Hey, what's fun is fun, right?
That
No.
Nintendo magic.
Listen,
Yeah, it's all about the Nintendo magic.
I want to chime into the feedback comment, right? Like, here's the catch. Overwatch is different compared to any other multiplayer game that I've played in a very long time. I would put it up there as like, I mean, I can't think of it off the top of my head, but I would definitely put it in the top 3 all multiplayer games that I've ever played. Because the thing here is that it's different. With Call of Duty, let's just say your standard shooter, it's about the guns. It's about the guns, right? Like for Overwatch, it's about the characters. And since it's objective based, let me just give you an example. You can't have a fleet of everyone using the same character. It won't work. In Call of Duty, you guys can all use the same weapon and be rocking out, you know? But in Overwatch, I can't fill a team of Bastions because, I mean, there are limitations to that, you know? Also, in Overwatch, I've never seen a game where somebody does not have to kill one person to be the most influential factor of that whole game. You could have a healer revive everyone right at the right time, and they are probably the most important person of that whole match, and they didn't even kill anybody.
Okay, so I got a question actually for Smooth. Okay, so Smooth, you've played Mario Kart 8, you've played Smash Brothers. Would you say that Mario Kart 8 is the best driving game of all time, and would you say Super Smash is the best fighting game of all time?
No, I mean Smash to me, it's fun with a group as well. So I kind of put that in a similar group as Overwatch. When you play by yourself, it's like, but it's a good party game.
That's where I'm getting at.
And
That's where I'm getting at.
Kart, I'd put that a notch ahead of it. But I mean,
so I put it in the same class as the Super Smash and the Mario Kart. They're fun party games, but I can't put it against the best.
But you won't play Overwatch in a party, though. You won't play
an online party. I mean,
party chat.
I'm sorry?
Party chat. I mean, you're playing it with your friends. Like, it's a game that's fun. It's a social game. You play with your friends. That's the point.
Okay, this is what I would say, because I agree with the Smash comparison, right? When you play Smash, and I think even Soze touched on it, right? One thing is, the whole point of the game is to knock people off, right? That's fine. But then you can go into the nuances and know that certain characters have, like, let's just say, invincibility after just a few frames. There's a lot of nuances. Overwatch is full of that.
Can I break down any game like that? I could break down, like, Bioshock. If I played it enough, I could figure out all kind of idiosyncrasies of that game if I played it enough. That's any game. You know what I mean?
All right, well, here we go. Let me be specific, since now you want basically the specifics of why I think it is great. Because yes, to me it is the greatest multiplayer game that I've played. It really is. And that's a strong statement, and that's from a hardcore Call of Duty guy that 10 prestiges year after year. But let me explain why, all right? Now, Overwatch does one thing. That is the only thing it does. It does one thing. Multiplayer with my friends. That's it. That's all it does. It doesn't have a campaign. It has a story that literally we chuckle at as we find more about it as we're playing. Okay? It's not forced upon us. It totally just happens organically. But all that it does is multiplayer with my friends. That it does better than any game that I've ever played. So it lacks other features, but it's perfected that. We're all trying to figure out what gun may work for us. In this game, there are 21 characters who are actually balanced, entirely balanced. There's no character that's better than the next. Yes. There's no one that – go and Google online what the meta character is. There's none. Google what the meta team is. There's no combination.
Didn't they just nerf somebody?
So that, you know why they nerf and boost people? It has to do with how many times they get played. They'll look at someone and they'll be like, you know what, May doesn't get picked enough in ranked play. So they'll do something to like kind of force us to play with her a little bit more. And then after her numbers go up, they'll kind of sway it or whatever. So all they're doing is keeping that balance because we are, like I'm saying, we're maturing. It is a lot better to play today. Even when you guys were playing in the beta, I got to tell you, playing in the beta was a joke. Like we were playing, it was obvious that we were playing with beta people. You know? So the game has matured. And that's what I'm getting at too is it is a very deep game. It isn't that we could break down Drake or any other game and figure out the nuances. No, because even in Mortal Kombat, I know that if I throw the Super Ball, there's always these many frames where I'm invincible. In Overwatch and in Smash Brothers, it's dependent on the characters. How Winston reacts to Mercy is different because of their combination of moves. And we're literally learning every day. Every day I'm like, holy shit, did you know that you could do that? All right, get behind me. Let's do that again. So that comes back to it again. This is about my friends. This goes back to playing with my friends. This game is a 10 at what it does because this is about playing with you guys, playing with the people in my hangouts. There might be a better campaign out there. There might be a better story. But when it comes to I want to play with people, this is the only game that forces me to talk. I can't do Call of Duty. Listen, I am the Call of Duty fucking dude that 10 prestige every time. This is how it goes down. Yo, Neos, S-Freak, this is what we're going to do. We're going to run in the room. You're going to throw a grenade to the right. I'm going to do this. And guess what? It doesn't matter because once you get in there, it's Twitch reaction. It's Call of Duty. You have to react. And if you're better than the next man, you have the better combination for your skill style, and you're better at reacting than them, then you'll get the kill. That is not the case in this. This is a Team Fortress game, not a Call of Duty game.
Right. Okay. So what this conversation is basically about is that there's two different types of multiplayer gamers. There's those who look for easy to pick up, hard to master type games, and then there's games with a higher barrier to entry, more complexity up front, but wants to feel that sense of reward after learning the game and the idiosyncrasies of it. It's kind of like, and I hate to say it, it's kind of like Overwatch, and the game I've been playing is Rainbow Six Siege right over here. Now this is probably one of the best multiplayer games I've ever played because it's got such complexity up front. You're going to not like the game for like 2 hours, but once it clicks, it clicks. And I feel like that's more of a rewarding experience than playing Overwatch, which I played for 2 hours. I feel like I don't want to say I've mastered, but I understand how this game works and about the characters and things like that.
So I can tell you this, and I can tell you this. But let me just break in real quick. Is you played it for the 2 hours or whatever. I promise you that if me and Neo and our group plays against you and Smooth and a bunch of people that have never played before, you won't get the payload. You know what I'm saying? Like, we will shut you out.
Probably.
So I want to explain to you. It is not a simple game. You can button mash and get through it. But don't get it twisted, man. There are some matches when we won't get touched, and vice versa. Yeah. There's some matches where we'll meet people that are a machine. They work so well together with certain characters. And listen, man, the game evolves. All right, the game evolves because as you're in there, somebody switches to counter your Winston, and now you got to counter that. So we're switching characters. So I'm sorry, Neil. Go ahead.
No, well, let me take it a step back, right? Just basics. You just start playing the game, right? When you start playing the game, one thing that becomes overwhelming for some new players is that there's 21 characters right off the bat. With Call of Duty, you're used to trying a gun, right? Trying a gun, and if you die, you'll switch to another gun, right? Just be off a knee-jerk reaction. Well, when you do that in Overwatch, the character is completely different movement speed, weapons, like everything is completely different. So what ends up happening is when you, in your 2 hours, I bet you flipped characters like 10 times. And the problem then becomes is that you didn't progress, and you didn't learn any of those characters at all. You just died, flipped to another character, died, flipped to another character. And you're never going to learn. It's the equivalent of playing Smash. And the minute you get knocked out, you switch characters. You're never going to learn anything.
So,
all right, I'll let you go.
One thing I got to say about Rainbow Six, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not going to play the game for more than an hour of not having fun and then keep going again and hoping it gets better. So for you to play it for 2 hours before it got good, I mean, I applaud you on that one. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot to put in of you know.
It's only like that because. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that I played it. I played it when the beta came out, and I actually put in probably like 8 hours or whatever. And I recognized, not because of anything that I did, it was actually because I looked at kill cams. You know, when you die, you have to sit there and watch the rest of the team. And I saw what the game was supposed to be like. And I told you guys this. I was like, wow, this game is amazing, but the learning curve wouldn't be worth it. By the time we were all good at it, some of us would move on. And I was actually talking about Sonic when I was trying to like recruit everyone to get it. I was thinking like, no, some of us are going to move on. And it's funny that now we've come full circle. Sonic is the one that won't put it down.
That's the thing, because like the learning curve is so steep that, and maybe this is because I'm used to playing games that like instantly give me the satisfaction. So when I played this, I was like, wow, okay, now it all started clicking, and then I became good at it, and it's still challenging and it's still rewarding after all these hours that I put into it. It's kind of like someone who plays Dark Souls for the first time. Right? Like we play a ton of games on our medium difficulty setting, and we can breeze through the game pretty quickly. Even on hard, like for a lot of these single player games, you can breeze through the game relatively quickly and easily. When you play a game like Dark Souls, now it's like, okay, now you got to learn about the idiosyncrasies of not only yourself, but the enemies as well and their patterns. It's kind of the same with Rainbow Six Siege. I look at Siege as like the Dark Souls of multiplayer. And I look at Overwatch, like the Smash Brothers of multiplayer. There's nothing wrong with Overwatch, and there's nothing wrong with Siege. It's just I'm trying to say that there's two different types of players out there, and I don't think that you can say definitively that Overwatch is the best multiplayer game of all time, because there's so many other types of gamers out there. You got to look at probably maybe if that's your opinion, that's the best, but I would say that if you're going to look at the best multiplayer game of all time, you got to start looking at the Call of Duty 4s of the world, the Battlefield 2s of the world. You got to look at the Rainbow Six Vegas 1s of the world. Like, those are games. You got to start stacking it up against those games if you're going to talk best ever.
It's an easy comparison. It's stupid easy how easy it is. You know what the thing is? I think that right now a lot of gamers, a lot of first-person shooter players, right? They like to live in the nice little box where KD is all that matters, right? But Overwatch is not that. Overwatch is so complex. Like, for example, you have different classes. You have, support classes. You have tanks. And I've never played a game. Okay, maybe this happened like maybe a week ago. We picked up some chick, and she was in the party, right? And she was a healer.
Damn.
Right? And we're chugging along. So we're chugging along, right? And then we're trying to beat this team. And I swear to you, right at the end, she gets the revive. She revives all five of us at the right time. We close out, bring the payload, and we win, right? She goes and she gets, like you said, at the end of the game, there's like a screen with all the players, right? And you can vote. She got 10 votes, right? Which I think is like the max or close to the max that you could get. And she was thrilled, and she was like, oh my God, this is the very first time that I'm being appreciated for what I'm doing, right? Now, you're talking about a first-person shooter that she didn't kill anybody. All she did was heal, and she was considered the most valuable player on that team. You know what I mean?
Okay,
I think
that's – but I got to dispute –
the ground and she was the most valuable player? What?
I got to dispute your comment about multiplayer games being about KD nowadays, because when I play – Rainbow Six Siege is not about the kill-death ratio at all. It's about the objective. Most multiplayer games are actually about the objective. It's only the ones who follow the Call of Duty formula that are about the KD. And to be honest, this generation has actually been great at going against the grain from the Call of Duty experience. Remember last generation in 360 and PS3 era, it seemed like every game that had a single-player component had to have a multiplayer component, and they all kind of modeled themselves. Yeah, they all kind of modeled themselves after Call of Duty and made it about KD. This time around, it's totally different. Like, we flipped the script on its head almost, and we're focusing more on the objectives. In fact, I play Halo 5 a lot. You'll notice that if you don't win the match, whether you're playing, capture the flag or you're playing like a domination type mode, you're not going to get as much XP. In fact, you're not going to get much XP at all for that match. So there's a lot of incentive to keep winning games, which means you got to focus on objectives and making sure that,
and listen,
that your team.
I agree with you. You're right. This new generation is more. That's why Overwatch is as big as it is. This game wouldn't work before on consoles. This was traditionally a PC type game, and to me and Neo, this is a new game because we're console players. But PC people have played Team Fortress, and this is like its bigger, more mature cousin. This is basically, instead of there being 5 classes, we've added 5 characters per class. And each one is is in the gray area between classes. I'll leave it with this, is that, yes, it's up to you what your favorite multiplayer is. For me, multiplayer is about playing with friends. And being successful in this game is more fun than being successful in other games. Like if me and Neo go off in Call of Duty, then we got 30 kills. We just kind of high five at the end of the game. Whatever, we got a lot of kills. In Overwatch, there's no way for me and him to go flawless without it being a team win. There's no way for it to happen without communication. And that communication from beginning to end, we can't talk sports when we're playing Overwatch. We don't talk about how the Spurs are doing and the Miami Heat. We don't talk about the new Jordans that are coming out. When we're playing Overwatch, Neo is calling out where we need a sniper. My next man is figuring out who he needs to switch for to counter the Winston. I'm figuring out who I'm sniping. And that conversation is actually what I've been looking for in every game. I've been trying to do it in Splatoon. I was trying to do it in Call of Duty. This game forces me to do it. So for me, that's why it's the best. It's the best because I can't play it. You're right. It is fun with friends. It just is. And I think that's the point.
I think you love it so much because you haven't played like Battlefield and you haven't played Rainbow Six much. Like, it's probably good relative to everything that you've played, which is Call of Duty and Titanfall and those kind of games.
I mean, you're acting like I have a small, like I've been exposed to just 1 or 2 FPSs. I mean, let's be real here. I played them all. I played the Battlefield. It's not like I missed that last generation.
Well, hold up, you have been very vocal.
Playing next gen games. I mean, that's what it sounds like.
I'm pretty sure I played it all.
But like Sosa, you've been very clear that you only stick to like 2 multiplayer games a year or 3 multiplayer games max a year.
No. That it is true that as far as a first-person shooter, I don't need to play more than one. Like, I don't need to play Doom and Call of Duty.
There you go.
Now, having said that, this isn't Call of Duty. I can play Call of Duty and Overwatch. Because to me, Overwatch is not a first-person shooter. It's a team shooter. To me, Overwatch is not about getting kills. It's about playing with 5 people and communicating.
Can I chime in one thing?
If the mics are off, I don't even want to play. Real talk. I don't even want to play.
Look, I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you something.
It's a next-gen experience. The communication is next-gen, Sonic. I don't know if you remember that. Call of Duty 4. Call of Duty 4 didn't have next-gen sound.
When you put it that way, I'm actually going to put more time in this.
Let me just say one thing.
Ordering it right now.
So, check this out. We were playing
communication.
We were playing Overwatch with some dude, and then the Call of Duty DLC dropped, right? So he was like, he disappeared, and he's like,
for like 2 weeks.
But see, here's the thing, and this is the summary of most first-person shooters, right? He went hard 2 weeks, then came back saying the game is trash, right? you know what the thing is? We sit there and play Call of Duty, and how many times do you want to throw the remote controller at a wall because you had a game that it was just terrible, right? With Overwatch, you never get that feeling. You get that feeling like damn, like you were in it. You lost, but you were in it. Whereas with Call of Duty, you could just there are so many rage quits in Call of Duty. There's not one rage quit in Overwatch.
Yeah, but I'm not defending Call of Duty. I'm
saying
trying to.
Hey, by the way, Vex. But I mean, guys, we got to transition over. We got to wrap the thing up. I will say though that guy Vex is actually a Battlefield guy. Am I right? He's like, yo, I'm going to play Battlefield. That was very short-lived itself. So let's just get he's a Battlefield first, Overwatch number 2.
Beta, and the beta ended, so I'm sure that's why he stopped playing.
Okay.
Yeah. No. Well, he stopped playing because he couldn't get into a match.
Get out of here! Stop that, man. Man. No Battlefield slander is allowed.
Yeah.
On this video. None.
We got it. Okay, we're gonna wrap the show up without talking Battlefield and without talking PS4 Pro. This show is officially over, but as usual, we have a little fun at the end, guys. And if you guys have been watching us, you know we do a fantasy draft. Usually, we try to do something that's a little bit out of the realm of the other 3 topics. So today, actually, this is from left field. This is what I want to do, guys. Bear with me. Basically, we all live in the same gated community, and for some crazy reason, we can't. There can't be more than one account of any subscription service. So only one Netflix account in our neighborhood. Only one Hulu account in our neighborhood. Only one Xbox Live membership in our neighborhood. So what I want to do is, we're going to go around. We got together. We're shooting the shit, eating some pizza, and we're going to go around and choose what subscription service is more important to us. Fantasy-style draft, just like we've done in the past. Snake style. You're going to pick one. We're going to do 2 rounds, so 2 each. Be ready. Neo, I don't think you've ever started. And if this, I don't know if I kind of mumbled this. It's going to make more sense as we go. So let's just get started. Neo, with the first overall pick, you get to choose any subscription service out there, and then the rest of us, we're left without it. What are you going to choose, man?
Xbox Live.
What?
Xbox Live membership. Why? Tell me why.
Yo, because at the end of the day, my place has to be the sole place for multiplayer gaming. If you want to get online, you got to come to this spot.
Well,
yeah,
so
I'll be at your house.
The only problem with that is if no one else can get subscription service, who are you playing with?
On our block. You can't play with
No.
We're coming over to watch you play online by yourself. What's going on?
You get to be bored out of your mind playing Overwatch.
What's behind that paywall that's so important right there?
Yeah.
With the number 2 pick will be Sonic. Sonic, what subscription service is most important to you? Xbox Live is off the plate. It's off the table.
I'm going to go with HBO Go.
Why'd you pick that?
Listen, so I just finished watching this show called The Night of, which one of the greatest shows I've ever seen. It's absolutely amazing. And then Ballers on HBO is incredible. It's just got so many quality shows. I just have to have HBO at all times, so I'm going with HBO though.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good first round pick. Second overall. Next up is Smooth B25. Smooth. What subscription service can't you live without?
I'm going with Amazon Prime because not only do I get the 2-day shipping, I get Amazon Video, I get Amazon Music, so you pretty much have Netflix, Hulu, Google Play Music all in one and 2-day shipping on anything I want. So if I want to watch any of those same shows that you would watch on HBO Go, I can order from Amazon and have it in my door with 2-day shipping, or if I'm in an Amazon Now area, I get them in my doorstep in 2 hours.
Why does this sound
Sonic
like
wants
an
to
Amazon
defend
Prime
his choice.
commercial?
Yeah, that was a little bit.
Commercial.
No, I feel like he was reading like the description.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like.
I did my homework, man. I did my homework.
He's the brand
is a
ambassador
damn
for
good
Amazon Prime.
Now, what you didn't think about, though, is you're going to get those HBO shows like 8 months later than Sonic. Sonic's going to
That's,
spoil it.
that's what I was going to say. You're going to have to wait 8 months for it. 8 months for all
I'm
them
still getting my music. I'm still getting my TV shows.
Hold on. So you saying that he's going to be 8 months behind, like Nintendo always?
Oh, right on time.
To that.
Right on time.
It's like my Marvel movies. I'm still catching up on all the Marvel movies, so it's right up my alley.
Oh, hey, you know Avengers 2 came out, right, Smooth? Age of Ultron's
Avengers
out, man.
2?
You can watch it now. Avengers
He
2,
doesn't know
man.
they grouped up yet.
I'll watch
He
it 6
doesn't know
months
they
from now.
grouped up
Don't
yet.
worry.
All right, Soze, what's
All
your
right, so I
pick,
guess
man?
I'm the guy that double dips this week. And number one, I can't believe it's still on the table. I'm going with Netflix. And simply because the Netflix originals are off the chain, I could watch Daredevil seasons 1 and 2 over and over and over. But I'm actually right now watching Sherlock with Cumberbatch for the first time. That is amazing. I don't like British television, but that's hilarious. And it is like, I don't know if it's because it's British or it just seems like really smart TV. I don't know if it's because I half understand what they're saying or because I have to decipher their language. But it does seem like it's a really smart show.
Really smart TV. It's really smart TV.
Yeah,
like
really
it's one of those where you got to pay attention to every minute.
Yeah, so I'll go with Netflix strictly because the amount of context. And then number two, I'm a gamer. So even though there's other options out there, I'm actually going to be playing that PS Plus. I'm doing it.
What?
I'm getting a PS Plus.
Hey.
I got a game. I'm a gamer. I'm gonna be creating a shitload of Little Big Planet levels, like just a download, thousands and thousands of Little Big Planet levels, and so I'm going with Netflix, and then I'm following that up with some PS Plus, so everyone can come over for Killzone. Everyone for that Killzone party. Who's up next? That's it's Smooth, right? It's your final pick, Smooth. Subscription services.
Since I got the music covered with Prime and some of the videos and my deliveries, my number 2 pick cover off on my Indiana Pacers and the rest of the NBA season. I'm going with the NBA League Pass.
Damn. So my pick, man.
Catch Indiana Pacers, Paul George's MVP season this upcoming season, as well as the rest of the NBA cast, Kevin Durant on Golden State, Dwayne Wade and Chicago Bulls, all the other market teams.
I like it. I didn't mention that our gaming community is actually in San Antonio, so all the Spurs games are local, so this doesn't affect me at all. Next up, Sonic.
How convenient.
Sonic, who do you want?
Oh man, he stole my pick. I hate
That's
this.
Right. See, when I say 2 rounds, you gotta pick like 4. You always gotta pick 2 extra in case somebody scoops your answer up.
All right.
Or you can trade.
I'll say this. I'll say this. I predict that the NX will have some sort of a subscription service. So whatever subscription service Nintendo's got, I'm gonna cop that just so I can play. I can play Metroid Confederation Force online.
Metroid Soccer
10 people
online.
Metroid Soccer with all 10 people online. I can't wait. It's gonna be no. That's a joke.
Bro.
I'm gonna go with I'll probably go with Hulu, man. Like Hulu, I watch a lot of like Shark Tank and those local ABC, NBC shows. This is assuming that we don't. This is assuming we don't have cable, right? Or do we have cable?
How about I got an HD antenna? Does that count? I mean,
there's no subscription service to that. Cable,
I got a regular
monthly subscription, man.
Window, so.
I mean, I'm still stick with Hulu because I never catch live TV anyway. I'm always either doing grad school work or I'm playing video games. So I'm gonna go with Hulu. I'm cool with that. Even though I'm pissed that the NBA League Pass pick was taken, I'm gonna go Hulu. Go ahead.
All right, so that means Sonic has HBO and Hulu, so he has television on lock. That comes up to Neo, who had the first overall pick, and surprise, surprise, he picked Xbox Live. He's gonna finish it off with.
You know, I'm really surprised that no other options of this kind of service type was brought up. I'd go with Apple Music. I mean, what are y'all gonna listen to at your places, man? Like nothing.
Amazon Music.
No, we're gonna listen to Microsoft Groove on Xbox Live.
But yeah, I mean, at least I can rock out.
I'm still listening to everything music, so I'm good.
I mean, I'll be looking at it this way. So you have to come to my place to play Xbox Live. You have to come to my place to listen to any new song, any new album that drops. I can live with that.
So that brings us to, you're right, that's what we should do. We should choose right now. It's a Saturday afternoon. We got a 6-pack each. Whose house are we going to? We're all going to the same house to drink. Whose house do we unanimously choose? We have, let me give everybody the rundown again. Like Neil said, he's got Xbox Live and he's got Apple Music. Then we got Sonic with HBO Go and Hulu. Smooth with Amazon Prime and NBA League Pass. And then I've got Netflix and PlayStation Plus. I'll start with Neo. You ended it, so you first, man. Whose house should we go to?
You know, so this is tough, but I think I might have to go with Smooth just because the Amazon Prime gives you music, video, and then the NBA League Pass. Oh.
I was just gonna say, like, yo, Smooth, we're coming over. We got match to deliver to your crib.
We got beer, we got chicken wings, we got food.
It's all frozen, boxed up outside your door right now. It's boxed up and frozen outside your door right now. It's been there for 2 days. So next up, Sonic. Who are we going to? Where are we going?
Man, so like you said, we're in San Antonio, so I gotta watch my Heat game. So I gotta go to Smooth's house, man. I gotta watch my NBA, man, and I gotta watch the Chicago Bulls. I know, I'm a Heat fan, ride or die, but like I gotta see my D Wade, man. I gotta see D Wade.
I think that pretty much seals it. But for the sake of inquiry, we will ask Smooth, where should we go?
I'm gonna say Neo's place. Xbox Live, we got a couple of games for gold. You know, we got 1 or 2 indie games. Got to play something. So we're listening to music. So if I got to pick one,
I can't believe there was such an opportunity to troll there, and he didn't take it. I thought he was gonna say, you know, we could play a couple of Xbox games for free. You know, 360 games that we've already beat. Like I thought we were going there with it, and I'm disappointed.
That's what I kind of did because there's no indie games on Xbox Live.
Wait, but Smooth, do you listen to new music though?
What's that?
Do you listen to new music? I thought you just listened to.
No, because Apple Music has a 90s hip hop playlist.
Your opinion is invalid.
I thought you listen like Kool and the Gang and like Eminem and.
No, I get the 90s hip hop playlist, so you know. I'm
okay. All right, you good.
All right, I think that wraps it up, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and say Neo as well. So we're splitting. 2 people want to go to Neo's to kind of game and listen to some music, and a couple of us want to go watch some. Well, who knows? I guess Smooth has got everything else. Everything else is covered by Smooth. So. But anyway, that's the end of the show. Thanks, everybody, for listening and for watching and for tuning in to officially episode 1. I want to go ahead and give you guys our Twitter handle because we do have one. So go ahead and follow us. Sonic Nerd, where can they reach us at?
At Sonic_nerd on Twitter.
And I think don't we have a 3 men and a babyface handle as well? Smooth?
Yes, 3 men _N, letter N _babyface. That's Twitter.
I guess they took the other one, huh? All right. Well, maybe we should be the real babyface. I don't know. We'll figure that out. But thanks for watching. I want to outro this way, guys. I want to run down the line real quick. Neo, what should they be reading right now?
You know, I'm reading Game of Thrones, but I mean, if I was gonna recommend, I would say Ready Player One. For anybody who plays Destiny, you'll love that book.
Sonic, what should we be playing? What are you playing?
This right here, BioShock Collection, man. BioShock 1, 2, and Infinite 1080p 60 frames a second. Can't go wrong. Oh, and the Forza Horizon 3 demo as well.
Oh, go for it. And finally, Smooth, what should we be watching?
Atlanta. I finally saw episode 1. Really, 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 really good show. Definitely check it out. I'm looking forward to watching episode 2 and 3. I think episode 4 comes out today, right? Or
tomorrow. I think.
That's right, tonight. Excellent. Thanks, everybody. And I second all those. Those are all great suggestions. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Urias Soze. We'll see you next week. Same time, fellas. Peace.
Peace.